June 1st marks the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, but we've had storms earlier than this. We talked about Arthur and Bertha earlier in those forecasts. But the outlook in terms of the whole Atlantic basin is possibly between 13 to 19 named storms. 6 to 10 could be hurricanes and 3 to 6 could be major hurricanes. It is set to be an above normal year for 2020 in terms of hurricane activity. In fact, it's been a 6th straight early start prior to the June 1st season. We talked about Arthur and Bertha, and with the possibility of La Nina developing and also warmer than usual conditions for the Atlantic Ocean, we could be seeing quite a bit of activity in our part of the world, especially towards Trinidad and Tobago and out towards Africa. This area of interest, which is basically for Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service for us to forecast where those systems will be developing. They are expecting a above normal year in terms of named systems between here and Africa, possibility up to 8 tropical storms developing in that area. But right now it's pretty quiet. Only a couple of tropical waves, one just left Africa, another one halfway in between, and that will likely begin to make inroads across Trinidad and Tobago's shores by the time we get to the late Thursday, but more so on Friday. So the wet season has begun. This is when we tend to see the heavy rainfall coming through. It's also hot and humid. So from June all the way to November, you'll basically continue to see these types of conditions. This wet season is set to be above normal, particularly the first part from June to August. We will have an elevated flood risk, and also that flood risk will continue into September and November, particularly for southwest Trinidad and Tobago, which will likely see wetter than normal conditions. So the outlook then, at least for the next few days, we'll see that one tropical wave possibly coming by late Thursday going into Friday. But right now across Trinidad and Tobago, it's a pretty dry and stable. Lots of hazy conditions expected. Still a lot of Saharan dust around in high concentrations, especially across those eastern areas. So be mindful about that. The haze will be with you through your Tuesday morning and afternoon. Very little chance of any sort of showery activity here, simply because of the dry, stable air around us as we go through Tuesday and also into Wednesday. So what does this mean temperature-wise? Well, tonight we'll be feeling quite warm in many areas, possibly no lower than 24 degrees Celsius for Trinidad, 26 degrees Celsius in Tobago, and similar conditions expected on Wednesday, possibly the first part of Thursday, hazy and sunny here. But once we get to Friday, we'll continue to see a lot more of those waves coming through, and we'll likely see some showers turning heavy and thundery, particularly around Trinidad as we go through Thursday and then into Friday. Now for fisher folk, we continue to see those mainly gentle easterly winds, just a moderate chop of 1.5 to 2 meters, so very little is set to change here, and that's how it will stay as we go through Tuesday for the most part. Now of course, the Central America, we've seen the remnants of one Pacific storm making inroads into the Gulf of Mexico. This could well be named as we go in the next 24 hours here. It poses no threat to the Caribbean, but we are still looking at quite a bit of Saharan dust from the Eastern Caribbean coming all the way across into Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but there are still 1 or 2 showers around, so there's still a possibility of a couple of thunder showers erupting over parts of the Western Caribbean. So taking a look then for those in the Port-au-Prince, showers expected here. Santo Domingo as well, seeing some showers at 34 degrees Celsius and partly sunny skies at 32 for Kingston. For the Eastern Caribbean, it remains dry and hazy, only low chance of a few clouds and some showers passing through, but overall still looking at quite a bit of Saharan dust all the way down the Windward Islands and coming down towards Georgetown. A mix of conditions, a few showers and some Saharan dust mixed in there as well. So that's your forecast, and that's it from me.